So we'll just do a quick round of introduction for each of us, so people know who we are. My name is Anush. I have been in e-commerce for the past 4 years. E-commerce distribution in UAE, but then alongside e-commerce distribution, I remember I got into Shopify when COVID hit. I started seeing what is drop shipping, what is Amazon FBA, and this is what opened up a lot of avenues into different kind of business models and seeing what's the most important thing. But I think from my perspective, I believe marketing is the biggest element for for any kind of business, because if you don't market a product, you can't sell it. So because of that, we came together, we started a company, and here's where we are.
No better way to say it. Arjun, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll start. So it's been a long time coming. We always wanted to do this, start a podcast. It's finally happening. Like, I'm really proud of myself, as well as to give a knowledge to everyone. So my name is Arjun, and then I'm the co-founder of Mantaga, and then I specialize in the Meta campaign and stuff like that. And also, I'm from a finance background. I'm good with numbers, and then we focus on the consultancy part of the campaigns for our clients. And that's what we do basically. That's where my specialty comes in. What about you, Fadl?
Perfect. So I think we missed out on explaining the company Mantaga as such. So as Mantaga, where did the name originated from, who we are, and everything. I think we'll cover it as we move forward. But first, my name is Fadl firstly. I have a long background of sales, business development. I'm coming from a background of engineering, mechanical engineering specifically. And so I was, quite good at what I did. And I thought that, why not take these skill sets and take it to somewhere where I can apply it for myself. So we all grouped up. We had this in the pipeline for a very long time. Since we were kids, we were discussing about starting our own business. But obviously, we lacked enough knowledge. And when we were ready for it, we jumped in, and today here we are doing our first podcast, proud of everyone. And with the knowledge that we gained, 100%, this is going to be beneficial for everyone who is watching. And I think Neil will be the last one to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Neil, and my background is purely sales. So I started off with selling stuff at Jitex. We started off with laptops and GoPro cameras. And from there on, it has been love and passion for sales. And I think that's what gets Mantaga also is bringing progress to Mantaga as well, because all of our backgrounds are different, and we bring different sorts of expertise to the table. So I bring in sales, Anush brings in the marketing experts, Raju gets the finance done, Fadil looks into the content and the social media part of it. So all together, we bring in a good mix to the table. And I have slowly and steadily tried to work my way up into, understanding data analytics, because that's part of how the world is going now. And it is important that we know how to interpret this data as well. So yeah, that's a bit of my background, and excited to start our first podcast. It's been in the pipeline for
quite some time.
Time now, yeah.
But so if you had to say, what does Mantaga do? We're in e-commerce, right? So we're just an e-commerce consultant, not just for brands in the UAE, but for brands worldwide. That is, there's no limitation for anyone anywhere across the world to look at us and go like, okay, fine, these guys can help me out. This is what they do. So as we get into the entire session, the few more sessions also week on week, people will know exactly what we do in detail. But I think before we move and jump into what we do, let's speak about why did we get into this? Why did we get into e-commerce? Like, why e-commerce? Why not any other business model? So from your guys' perspective, if you look at e-commerce as an industry, we've seen it evolve over the period of time where in Dubai you had souk.com, then it gets bought out by Amazon. And then because of COVID, you have such a rise of e-commerce sales. And that's when we started to understand, okay, fine, there's a big gap in the market. We can try to solve it. So in your perspective, what do you think has changed from e-commerce maybe 4 years ago versus today? Is it still the same? Has things changed?
So in terms of human psychology, people like to see a product. They always believe that if there's a product, that they can most probably sell it. So when it comes down to e-commerce, Shopify stores, everyone wants a product. And then we started off initially as a digital marketing agency, and e-commerce. When we started branching out, started looking more into like where we want to head, we figured out that e-commerce is like the father of it all, you can say, because from e-commerce, once you have a product, comes down to marketing. This is where our products or services, like in social media, meta ads, campaign, can come in. So we understood that our skill set can be utilized here in e-commerce, where there's a huge market, where there's a lot of people that are growing in, and given the expertise, like your expertise in e-commerce, handling it in UAE, then Arjun's expertise in Amazon FBA, Shopify, etc., we realized this was where we were heading. And in terms of like people, they always like to see a product, so we suggest them products, niches where they want to join. And it's a one-stop solution for everything that you need, from e-commerce consultancy, digital marketing, like SMM, that's social media marketing, and meta ads, Google ads, all this stuff. We take care of it, and people are able to find value in what we do. But anyone starting off, go into e-commerce and have a good marketing strategy. Is the same thing as like a physical store, a retail store in the physical world where they have products and they have advertisements or good word of mouth, and is the same concept.
And I think to add to that, I feel like the strongest point of having e-commerce is because everyone of us, like especially us or like people of our age, we all want to start something.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's where I think they're scared to put the first step in, right?
Yeah.
They think that they need to have a lot of knowledge, they need to have a lot of everything, but it's actually, you just do your research well in the beginning, and then you get to know the basics, and then it's not that hard. Like, of course, you see online and stuff, there's so many kids also doing it nowadays. You just need to have a good research. I feel research is really important, and a good set of knowledge on the basic stuff, and then that's enough. You will obviously learn across as you go. But then what I feel especially now is many people are scared to put the first step in, because it's always the first step which is the hardest, and after that it's almost like you learn as you go. So I feel like it's the first step, especially today, which is the hardest, and that's where we can also help people, by giving a consultancy and guidance.
100% agreed.
And I like I was saying, we all want to start something, and not everyone who's starting off in a business has a lot of capital to invest. So when it comes to e-commerce, if you have a limited amount of capital to invest, like you want to start off small, you want to start off your first venture and grow it later on, or grow it into a brand, I think e-commerce gives you the best access into starting your own business, learning your own trade, learning the tricks of the trade, and what goes into building a brand up from scratch. And like Arjun said, the tools are endless. What is available online right now, especially like after COVID and with the AI boom as well, the tools are endless when it comes to generating images, generating content. In 5 years back, 6 years back, we had to do the content by ourselves. Right now, we don't have to do the content by ourselves. We can just put some prompts in and we'll have the content ready for us.
Yeah, recently I was thinking about this. I saw one reel where this person said, for the first time in history of business, as for as long as we know, in the history of business, the playing field is leveled.
Yeah.
Because like, look at it, before there were mobile phones, and you have a brand like Coca-Cola, for example. And let's just take Coca-Cola, for example. I don't know where they started off, but let's say they started off in the US. They start off in the US. They have to physically go to retail stores and show the product and explain to people what it is. And the marketing is what? TV ads, radio. Yeah. You have leaflets, you have billboard advertisements. And these become so expensive to do that only people with a lot of capital could initially start. But we're living in an era where e-commerce has given us the ability to create an online store, market it across anyone in the world, and you have the same tools that Coca-Cola uses. So what we use, what Coca-Cola uses, what anybody else uses, it's all the same tools. It's all about, do you have the right person to manage the tools? Like what we do. We have all the tools in front of us. The clients that we work for, that we do business with, they have the tools as well. But why do they entrust us? Because we know how to use the tools in the best possible way to save people more money. It doesn't even come down to making more sales. It comes to giving you the best result to make more for what you spend. So like after hearing that, I was like, yeah, That means any certain business in any niche, you can just start it. Like Shopify gives us the option. We've seen so many ads where people create a store for you for $2. If you for like it's a lot cheaper to create a Shopify store today than to go and buy your nearest Starbucks. So you can literally start off like that. Marketing, as you guys said, is important, but we'll get into that as the entire conversation goes on. But do you think this year, or let's say 2025, is it a good year for people to start in e-commerce?
Getting started anytime is good. Like if you can start tomorrow, it's good. But in terms of 2025, yes, there are a lot of growth potentials in the market. Like the market trend is moving more and more towards having things done for you easier, having things done for you in a more convenient way. So even with e-commerce right now, if you look 5 or 6 years back, if you had to do a simple drop shipping from AliExpress or any Zendrop or anywhere, you had to wait probably like 45 days approximately. That was the biggest issue with drop shipping models. Now the timeline has reduced even further to say 15 to 20 days. This trend is just going to get better and better because they are trying to cut their delivery times. People want to push out as many products as possible. So the 2025 year shows like a good potential for e-commerce because everything is becoming much easier, much smoother, much faster. And I think Father will have something to say on this, especially with the elections coming in and the results coming out. It's probably favorable for Trump. So with that also happening, like I feel like the whole economy is going to be a bit more stable.
Correct.
The risk that people have to take is going to reduce.
Yeah.
And I think 2025 is the year.
Because we were just discussing this while we are waiting to do the podcast. We were like, today, as we all know, Trump won in majority of the states. And, Trump is a businessman, serial business entrepreneur. So you can imagine like what changes he's going to bring into e-commerce, US being one of the largest consumers in the world. So now, like, there is no better time than 2025. You have exactly December, 1 month to prepare for 2020. Regardless, whenever you start, it'll be fine. But you want to start the new year with a bang, this is the best time to start because Trump's going to bring in a lot of, like, support for the people who are, like, starting any kind of stores. There's various hacks and systems on how you can get started in, like, US. And that's why people like us, with our experience, that's why we bring this information to you guys. So it's actually very risk-free also to start a business at this point. Like everyone says, you need like a lot of capital, you need this and that, and nothing. Even when we started our business, we needed just like a trade license, which we got for like less than $300 to $400. And so no better time.
Yeah, so talking about that, I feel like the budget is what another major point is stuck in people's head. They feel like they need a lot of budget to start, which is I feel like is complete BS. It's you don't need much actually. You just need to know how to negotiate with for example, if you're getting a product from Alibaba, AliExpress, for example, you talk to the person, it's always negotiable, and then there's always a minimum order quantity, and then they might say, oh, you know what, I don't have the money to market it. The first of all, even from Meta, you can get so many free credits right when you sign up, even Google Ads as well. And also, you don't need to put a big budget. You can even start from $5 to $10, which I think is manageable. Come on. So if you have a decent budget, it doesn't have to be really big, which many people think so. And also the social media, that's something which you can handle it by yourself. You just put some interactive posts, make it engaging, and then that's enough for a good start, I feel. Because what I feel is they're scared to put the first step because of they are so much worrying about what would happen instead of just trying it out. So I'll always suggest that just try it out. And you can always improve it later on, but it's always good to start it and then learn from it, basically.
So the exact thing that you said, like people are hesitant to make that first step.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say someone's listening to this right now and we have to give them like a breakdown on e-commerce, but in the most easiest way, if you put it in different buckets. Like the first topic that I want to like bring up is branding. What is branding? What is the basics of it? Like, is color important? Why is color important? Number one. The second thing is, why is having a clean logo important? Why is the structure of your page important? So when it comes to branding, if one of you can tell me, like in your perspective, branding versus having a generic store. Let's take two options. You have a T-shirt and a clothing brand. They're both selling T-shirts, but one is branded, one has no branding. What's the difference? What's the benefits? But keep it only related to branding.
I think, taking your examples, one is branded, one is not branded, two T-shirts. I think with branding, what you get is a trust behind the brand. So it depends on how you have what you have done in terms of building a brand story, building a story behind why your brand is doing what they're doing, and giving certain say for example, you want to buy a t-shirt that is not branded out of a random website. You are always in doubt that, okay, what if this quality is not matching the level that I'm expecting? Because right now pictures can be deceiving. You can't trust things based out of pictures. You say you go to Shein or somewhere, people see the pictures, but the next thing they go and look into is the comment section of people actually wearing that particular cloth. And that is where they make the judgment if this is good. So branding gives credibility in terms of quality and what the brand story is behind that particular product, who is behind that product. And say, for example, if you have some big influencer behind it, obviously it'll do much better because it's the same thing. You have credibility.
So branding is all about giving credible trust to what your product is. That's the basic thing. Perfect. So like I said, these topics we'll go over it like one by one. Yeah. Like let's all three not answer every single topic, just perspective.
Yeah. I just regarding branding, what are your thoughts on personal branding?
Personal branding as in like me as a person, or personal branding like a business? Like how does it work? Because you have to, like the way I look at it is you have two sides. Yeah. You can either personal brand yourself so that you show people online that you are this person. Like you're a gym person, like you're someone who likes to stay fit. Yeah. You're someone who likes to go to expensive places. You're someone who travels. So you show more of your lifestyle. Yeah. So people who resonate with your lifestyle starts catching up on what you're doing because they're attracted to what you're doing. And then from there, when you start pushing things out about what you do, then they start getting into your business. But what other people have started doing right now with the new trend online is whatever business they have, them as an owner just stands in front of a camera and personal brands their business. Like you look at, for example, the best example that I can give is the rent-a-car, Ahmed Amwal. Yeah. People know him for his cars. Yeah. And it's not even in a good way or a bad way. People know him for his cars. You say the name Ahmed Amwal, people know, oh, it's the guy on TikTok, it's the guy on Instagram with the cars. So this is how you can either personal brand yourself or you personal brand your business to a point where people identify your business with who you are.
But do you guys think this is something specific to certain businesses? Or do you think personal branding is important for all kind of, for example, Shopify stores as well?
I think, I was trying to just connect what Anush said about Ahmed Amwal to even for Brands for Less. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Even for Brands for Less, because Brands for Less was there from a long time ago. Yeah. And then after the personal branding started...
What is the story on Brands for Less? I've never heard about it. I've never heard about this. Never.
You should have. You should have. I don't think there's anyone who hasn't seen him. I'm pretty sure if you show him,
he must have seen. Yeah.
I've never seen.
But very interesting story about it. Jamie, pull it up. But very interesting story. I haven't seen him for a while though.
He recently met Sheikh Mohammed.
He must have met him like a couple of times to be honest.
No, I think he's reduced the personal branding. I might be completely wrong on this because they've sold a major stake.
Yes. Oh. So basically it was Fahad and his team. You know Fahad, right? From K9 unit. Okay. So him and his team, they started his personal branding. And you know their type of content, right? It's funny.
Oh.
Seen him, yeah?
Yeah, I've seen him from here to there, but I've not noticed him as much as like...
He meets these random customers and gives them challenges and in order for discount in return.
Nice.
Not only that, but he's a very interesting, nice guy. Like we knew Brands for Less was like a store where you can get, like everyone used to say, luxury brands for cheaper. But the minute this guy started popping up, people started going for that brand more. Like right now, they've sold the company for almost a major stake. What was interesting was how he was like portraying himself. It was genuine. He was a funny guy. people are more and more interested to know how his life is unfolding, how his business is unfolding. Everyone's entertained by the content that he's putting out, gains so much traction for his business. So when Neil mentioned about personal branding, I think it goes hand in hand. It depends if like business you want to do, but always think from a perspective in the past, before internet, how was it done? Yeah. So you're just going to walk into places where there's like highly influential people you find knowledge from. You walk in, you network with these guys, and then you form a name for yourself and whatever you're doing, right? So it's the same thing in online space. If you think that it's a good decision to go and brand yourself and you have something knowledgeable to talk about you and your business, it will have a direct positive impact on your business regardless. So how you portray yourself is how you're portraying your business. So it's always good to maintain like a good, genuine, authentic.
Like when we go more in depth into e-commerce, when let's say someone decides, you know what, they start off, what's the first thing that they have to do? Like the thing that came to my mind was setting up a store. Like, what's your guys' thoughts on it? Do you think it's easy? Do you think it's tough?
Arjun is the best for this.
Like, or you know what? Before even going into setting up a store, how does a person identify in e-commerce what should they do? Because I remember you told me you have Amazon FBA, you have dropshipping, and dropshipping also you can use multiple platforms to build your store, like Shopify, WooCommerce, and Wix.
So let's just say there's a kid. He wants to set up a Amazon store for himself. And he's hesitant and he doesn't know what he wants to sell. So like Neil said, there's so many tools available nowadays, man. So for example, let's say there's Helium, there's Jungle Scout. Yeah, Jungle Scout. So with these, you can do so much research. It's endless. Like for example, they even give you a Chrome extension where if you go to certain Amazon products, you get the full sales data of it. So if you do a research on it, you can know like which products are selling, which products are not selling, which products has competition, which product doesn't have competition. And then you can make a very good decision on what kind of, like, if it was me, I would go for a product which has less competition. There's no major player in the market, but there are good sales happening. So that's how I would identify that as a good product. I would select that product. Then next step I'd do is I'd look for manufacturers for that product. So you can maybe look at AliExpress. So you can contact some of these people, negotiate, get an idea about how much it costs. Do your research, do your math around it, so you know what's the initial budget required. And if it's fine, then we can go to the step of setting up your Amazon store. So Amazon registration process, as Neil said, it's so simple nowadays. There's the resources you have online. It's nothing basically. It's so simple. You can finish it off in less than a day. And once with that, and you get your products, it'll since it's an AliExpress, it'll take just maybe like 20-25 days for it to arrive, and then it's all automated. You book an appointment, then you take the product, or you can just ship the product directly to the Amazon store, and then it's live within 14 days. It goes live. It's simple as that. If you make a plan that you want to sell something by next month, if you sit on it now, by next month you can start making money. It's as simple as that. You just need to have a plan. You need to know. You don't just wing it. You do your research, and then that's like the initial step I would do if I was new into the market. That's what I would do.
Okay. So when you come to the platforms that you would use, Amazon is one of the biggest platforms in the world, and like you said, Amazon FBA is the easiest kind of solution because you're tapping into the consumers that are already there on Amazon. But let's say someone decides they want to start their own brand. And they want to use a platform to create their own store. Mm-hmm. For 2025, what is the best e-commerce platforms that someone can use to create their store?
So what I would do is, you can start social media a little bit early. Start creating a story behind the product. Start making it, giving videos around it, or maybe even give like a launch date. So this is the date it's launched. So at the date of launch, your product already has a little bit of name. So people are looking forward to your product.
But what's the e-commerce platform underlying thing that you would use? Like, would you use Shopify? Would you use Wix? Would you use WooCommerce? Would you use BigCommerce? Like for someone starting off, because you have a lot of options. It varies from payment plans to accessibility and API. Like the biggest factor is actually API extensions. Mm-hmm. What all apps can you use with it to complement what you're trying to do? Yeah.
I would say the best e-commerce platform to use even now is Shopify. Because I've had experience with Shopify, and like I see a lot of videos on YouTube saying that Shopify, don't use Shopify, use WooCommerce, but I feel like the differences in platforms are so marginal, but Shopify has made the user interface so convenient that anyone with basic knowledge of computers can go and set up a store. It's extremely simple. And not only that, Shopify has made it, and even when you go on to later stages of, say, running your Meta campaigns, running your Google campaigns, with Shopify, it is super easy to start tracking your events, as in your funnels, as in your customer journey. Everything becomes easy with Shopify, and I'm 100% still confident that there is no other better platform to start your dropshipping website, or your website as is on Shopify. That is the best platform out
Also,
there.
the major point, Amazon, it doesn't take a major cut. Yeah.
And the free templates, I would say, like, if you're starting off, don't bother with any of the paid templates. There are free templates over there. There are, like, I think there are around 4 to 6 free templates on Shopify with different themes. Just stick to those templates because they're good enough to get you off the ground. Don't wait, because what you don't kind of realize, because you kind of take a lot of subscriptions along the way when you do e-commerce. That just adds up to the end of by the end of the month, that adds up. And the more your products take time to sell out, the more pressure that also adds up to your cost. So wherever you can cut down on costs, do it. So even on Shopify, there are free templates. Use the free templates. Use as much as free stuff as possible out of the website. Only things you find absolutely necessary,
Use those.
use those.
Fair. So now we've established someone can start a business very easily. The first step is, like you said, they pick the niche. They figure out which product, they do their research. Then we've also given them what are the tools that they can use in e-commerce. Like you said, Shopify. The next thing that I believe is important is, especially when you start an e-commerce store, there's nothing more important than marketing yourself. So when it comes to marketing, there are like 4 categories I have in mind. One is content marketing, paid ads, influencer marketing, and user-generated content. And the last is email and SMS marketing. So each of these are equally important. Like me, like I've been in marketing for so long, I know that how important each of these are. But then when you split it into 2 sides of it, you have paid marketing and organic marketing. So when it comes to organic marketing, what are the best tips that you can give someone for organic marketing for anything? Let's say they have a Shopify store, they have their brand. What is the best organic content marketing tips that you can give them?
Yeah, it's very simple, right? So many people, like, when they want to start a business, they're like, I don't have the groundbreaking idea. Or like everyone's focused on bringing some like Newton or Edison kind of idea. But you can just follow the same script or the same model that many people have applied, because it depends what your purpose is over here, right? Is it to make money or something else? Same thing in the online space. Like when it comes to social media, it's about knowing what you're getting out into. So now once you understand your niche, product, whatever it is, immediately go to the search tab. I'm going to make it so simple. Go to the search tab about your product, what you're looking for, and type what it is. Videos are going to pop up. You have so many model videos of people who have already, uploaded based on, if it's a t-shirt brand. This is one of like very interesting products that I've seen. They have so many aesthetics, so many great ideas on these pages. You don't need to copy it, model it, add a touch of your sauce or your spice into it. But like literally, I love marketing, social media. I was never a big fan of it in the past, but the minute you understand the potential this thing holds and how easy it is with AI softwares where you can take these videos, model it, keep posting content. Now, in terms of, like you mentioned, organic content, it's a matter of like, there is no 100% this is the only algorithm it works. There's like multiple algorithms. But in my experience, I would always say, like, in the initial days, so that you get comfortable with posting, putting yourself out there or your product, just look at like 2 reels and 1 post per day. Make it interesting. Make it like, have a mood board set up, have a proper structure system. And that's why you have people like us, mentors or consultants, who help you in this. If you don't have the money, there's still information online. Go for it. Have a good strategy, procedures, everything in place. And you will enjoy the process. There is nothing more fun than using social media.
I just wanted to, what Fadil said, like, I just want to reiterate that fact, because the idea is not to reinvent the wheel.
Correct.
It is already, things are going fine. you don't have to find a brand new idea. You don't have to, I mean, we might float away from the marketing aspect of it, but you don't have to completely have a insane idea to start off. People get lost in the concept of finding a niche. Like everyone says, like, I need to find a niche, and this is already there. That it can be as, rather than saying like you have say organic organic protein bars. You can just niche it down a bit further by saying organic protein bars for men or organic protein bars for women. That itself is a niche. That itself is a niche. You're just going from organic protein bars. You have protein bars, then you have organic protein bars, and then you have organic protein bars for women. So your ads, everything is targeting just women. So even what Fadil said about marketing is also absolutely the same thing. You have all the content available for you.
What's the goal for like when people say marketing, at least e-commerce marketing? What is the goal of it? Is it to reach more people? Is it to sell more? How do you identify, like, for example, paid ads? Why does Meta have a tool that you have to pay money to reach people? What's the idea behind that? Why not let content go out to everyone? What's the benefit of paid ads versus organic?
Yeah. So regarding the paid ads, so now, for example, this person, he wants to promote his product. Okay. So Meta gives you a platform where you can, for example, on Instagram, you always see various ads, right? So you have an option to do something like that. No matter how low or how high your budget is, there are people running ads for even like $20,000, $30,000, whereas there's people even running ads for like $5 to $10 as well. It all depends on your ad creative. Your ad creative is very important. It could be a really good product, but the ad creative is bad. For example, the picture or the reel is bad. Then the performance, it directly correlates to it. It wouldn't do that well. But let's say the ad creative is really good, your product is really good, and the way you portray it to your audience is really good. And even though your budget is not that high, let's say it's maybe like $10 to $15 per day, you can still expect a good return on your ad investment. This is another platform I feel like people are very hesitant because they think that they need a lot of ad budget to fall into. They need to spend a lot of money and maybe you'll get a result only in 2-3 months, which is not true at all. If your stuff is good, you can expect quick results. Like, I'm not saying you put your money into it, tomorrow you're going to get results. Sometimes it might take time, but you can always see the trends. You can learn the trends, and according to the trends, you can make decisions. For example, you're seeing in week 1 you're making 4 sales, and week 2 you're making 8 sales. So you're doing well you're doing well basically. So you don't need to worry about it.
What is the parameter that you use to define that your ad campaign is doing well?
I'd check on the impressions it reaches, the amount of account centers it has reached, and if it's being engaged a lot by the viewers. So if all these are happening, and if it's an increasing pattern, and if it's in an increasing trend, and I'm seeing sales as well in an increasing trend, then I feel like it's good to stay with it. So for example, it might not be doing well. You're seeing maybe sales are falling down, or if the engagement is not as well, then you can even tweak it. There are so many things you can do with an ads campaign. You can attract different demographics. You can change the targeting settings as per you want. That's where we come in. We can guide you on how to target different kind of people, different kind of audiences. This is really important because, for example, your ad might not be working the first time. So you're just stuck. You'll be thinking, oh no, what do I do now? So you can always tweak your ads a little bit, maybe change the ad creative, maybe create an ad set, maybe create a new alternate campaign. There are so many tricks and tips where we can come and help. And with this, you can always be successful. That's what I feel.
Yeah, and I think regarding your question on like, what is it like? The content is already out there. You mentioned something. You mentioned that content is already out there. Like,
what's the difference between a paid ad and an organic content? Like, either way, your organic content is going out to people.
Yeah.
So why would I, like, for me, why would I pay for sending my post out to someone?
I would
What's
just
the objective?
Summarize that, like, in short. It's basically like you have roads with Salik and you have roads without Salik. Okay, you want to get somewhere quicker, you use the Salik routes.
Fair.
And the other one you just stick to
Chandigarh station.
Paid toll gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one more thing, I just want to talk about the niches as well.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick couple of examples of successful
Bro, continue now.
Okay, since it got cut, I want to say one thing. Promote a brand, like promote a company. Talk about what we'll do for them. We're not talking about it at all.
No, but that'll come along the process, bro.
He
That's
said
it's
that
not,
somewhere,
it's not in
Simon.
this.
We're
It's-
putting it in.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch upon the niches as well. A couple of very successful niche success stories. So one of them is Ninja Creamy, the ice cream maker. You put in ice cubes, you put in maybe 2 scoops of protein and some milk, it turns into ice cream. It's an insane product. But then I remember it when it just came out, it's like around 1,200 dirhams it starts from. The margin they're making is crazy. The suppliers in China, the price, you would be shocked. I'm not telling the price. Why don't you guys just go and just have a look how much it actually costs? This is one product which has been very successful, especially because of their marketing. The marketing they did on this is absolutely terrific,
So
actually.
it's just private label.
Yep. It's another product. I forgot the name of the brand, but then it's basically a water bottle. You put the pod in, and then you drink. It tastes like juice, apparently.
Sidemen one.
Yeah, exactly.
Air Ups?
Air up.
Air Ups, I think so, yeah,
Exactly.
Air
It's
Ups,
called Air Up. So even that, they got so many famous YouTubers to promote it, like Sidemen, etc. And then even their packaging was insane. It was like you're opening like a very luxurious something. It's just a water bottle with the pods.
I want to
and
try
then
it,
these
though.
exactly. See,
Yeah.
you want to try it, even though you know it's just water with a pod. And then even this, if you go to, like for example, AliExpress and check out the manufacturers, you'll know how cheap this actually is. So this is a couple of examples of how good marketing and goes a long way.
So I need to ask you, like, for example, Air Ups, Ninja, they're getting it from AliExpress. Now, when they bring it here, when they bring it for themselves, are they patenting this? Can other people go and purchase these products and resell it, rebrand it because it's already rebranded because it's already selling. So once they see there's a small fluctuation between the Air Ups and this one, they can go for it, right? So that's an amazing start. They're not patented it.
Again, what do you say? This is where I say there's already a very strong in the market. They've built a trust already. So the chances of someone to follow yours, even though the price is less, you might get a sales, but then it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult.
Don't you think there's a space in the market for like
course.
everyone?
Of course.
Yeah, for everyone, of course.
Like,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we're there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And that's why
there's a
there's
space
tools
in the-
also.
Even
Yeah.
even for this water bottle Air Ups, like Sidemen and I think it's Beta Squad who's doing it. They have that particular. They're promoting it extremely well, but there is a space beneath that as well. If you're able to price it properly and gain some trust, you can still put a product below that.
It's
Like
like
the best example is how we said, like, we're in an era where the playing field is so level.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned, the tools, branding is very important. Branding, either personal branding or you have your content structured in your way. And the example that I would give is, look at the energy drink sector. You had Gatorade, Red Bull, like literally taking this by storm. And all of a sudden you have a brand called Prime that just walks in. The reason why it sells is because Logan Paul and KSI put their name to it, put their face to it, put it on podcasts, go sponsor football teams. So a lot of people know it. It turned into $1 billion brand within like 2 or 3 years. And this doesn't happen like, it wouldn't have happened without them, because you need that kind of outreach for your brand to be able to be positioned that way. And when you see Prime go so successful, you see Messi starting another drink.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, they're all making money. But the only reason they're making money is because they're able to capture a new set of audience. Like Red Bull, for example, was not amongst the younger kids. But now what Prime has done is they've branded themselves in such a way where Logan Paul and KSI's audience is younger kids. They don't mind having Prime. Now that's more people coming into the category of energy drinks. But this is like just an example on how important like marketing can be for a business. You can have the best product, but if people don't know it's the best product and people can't resonate with it, you're as good as a nobody.
Correct. And like with Red Bull, their marketing strategy, if you look at Red Bull's marketing strategy, is completely different from, say, Prime, the Message, Mass Plus. The Red Bull's marketing strategy never focuses on Red Bull as an energy drink.
Yes. It's about life experiences.
Life experiences and just having, So they have completely different marketing strategies. All of them have completely different marketing strategies, but they still have a market space as well for each of them.
Correct.
The best, even touching on that messy thing, like when Arjun told us about, so like when Arjun mentioned about not starting in the same niche as Arabs, you can see Messi, guy who's made multi-millions or billions, God knows how much he's worth. This guy has a proper team of social media and everything, and they still decided to copy the same idea as KSI and Logan Paul. So imagine if these guys have what it takes to just copy the same idea, which is doing so good. What's stopping anyone else who's watching this video to go and model
I feel
the
like
same thing?
that messy drink is just. This is just my thoughts. I'll tell you my speculation on this. Okay, this is just something that I thought about. So Prime is distributed by Emirates Snack Food in Dubai. So because of that, I've seen the Mass Plus. The bottles are the same.
Yeah.
The product, maybe there's a little bit of difference, but I would like to know who owns the manufacturing plant in the US, because I feel like this is just a deal that's done from the manufacturing point of view, where they're like, we want to produce more bottles. Now, whoever wants to come and brand your stuff, you can brand it elsewhere. But I might be wrong, but this is just my thought process, because you know how the US is. If you are rich and famous, you're connected with everybody else. And the same thing what Nelk Boys, everyone does.
And Messi's in US now.
Yeah, you have everyone who's at the top, what they do is they get approached by somebody else who has a good business idea, because these guys are not businessmen. These guys are people who knows how to put themselves out there organically and normal, that whatever they say, people will follow. Now you have the businessmen, the money mind people that come behind them and say, you know what, this is the strategy, this is the plan. We'll launch this product. All you have to do is push it out. So it just shows like how marketing as a tool is so important in today's age, that like without marketing, it's just that you're not telling the right story behind what you're trying to sell. And I think this is the main focus that we always do when we speak to people about it. Like, you can have your best product, but you don't market it, sorry, you're back. It's like you're back to the end of the line. But coming back to our the process of a business, like we spoke about marketing, how important it is. Now, the next step when someone goes forward is managing operations and logistics. So when it comes to doing dropshipping or Amazon FBA, there is logistical things that have to be done. Is this very complicated, or is this something anyone can do?
This used to be a complicated process. You had to handle the delivery, all those stuff. But then nowadays it's completely automated. For example, you can just tell the manufacturer itself to deliver it where you want. You can get an appointment ready, and it's done. And then as soon as the product arrives at the warehouse, then within like 10 to 14 days it can go live. So it's no longer complicated, but that's like the least of your worries, because then it's very simple now. There's nothing to worry about that.
Even on Shopify, like you have constant notifications on like when an order is placed, when an order is processed. Like you can link all your, say for example, you have purchasing something from AliExpress and you have a Shopify store set up. The minute you have a purchase made on your website, you can automate the entire process where like it goes to AliExpress. From AliExpress it ships out, and all this is tracked.
Correct.
So you might just have to take an additional package in Shopify for it to have this tracking options available, or there are other tools as well that does it for you. Okay. So you can do it either through Shopify itself, or just use one of these tools that are available online, and you can track the entire logistics behind your product and where it's going, where it's been.
Which would you prefer?
For which one? I would prefer Shopify itself.
But even I've seen Amazon, right? Like when Arjun was doing the FBA, he could drop off the material at the Amazon fulfillment center, and they would take care of the entire fulfillment for you. Yeah. So I think there's multiple opportunities how to do it.
I was just talking about the drop shipping part, because see you're ordering from China and you have no contact over there. So basically with Shopify you can just automate everything, and it's
literally no more limitations. Yeah. That's crazy.
Now, once let's say everything is set up. Someone set up their store, they've started their social media page, they're putting out content, their fulfillment is also happening. They're getting like 10 sales in a month. Okay. Now, what's the key point to take them from 10 sales a month to 100 sales a month. What is the key strategy that you guys say is very important for a business? How does someone find out what is the right strategy? Because like we said, what we do for people is a brand approaches us, we give them the strategy that is foolproof. We tell them, if you're here for awareness, this is what you have to do. If you're here for sales, this is what you have to do. So how does I don't want you to give away the key component, what we do, but throw in a bit of a teaser so people think about it. This what we do for people.
10
we give
sales
them
a
a
month.
strategy.
10 sales a month, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So give us what is some value that you can give someone to think about when they have a business without giving the full value of it.
Yeah, so like you said, there are many businesses who might make only 10 sales a month. That's nothing to worry about. We've itself come across various people who made 10 and they're earning now like 1,000 sales a month at least. So what I would do is first you sit down, you get down your data, you track everything. Like on what days have you made the sales the most? On what days have you not made the sales? Are you running ads? You track the ad spend, you track the ads budget. Are you making the sales on days you are running the ads? So all this you can get to a conclusion basically on what's the reason of making 10 sales a month, and using that tools and using those data, you can obviously make a decision on next. Maybe you can tweak your budget on certain days a little bit more to achieve more sales. So there's so many tips and tricks you can play around with, and then you can always check it out the next month. Is it affecting it? So you can compare, so always I feel like comparing within yourself, trying different tactics, maybe changing out the demographics of your ads. All this can obviously help. So that's what I would do. This is like just one small bit of what we can do.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that?
I think I think that's cool. Like that covers majority of the things. Now, like the biggest thing is when it comes to e-commerce, there are so many pros, but there are also so many cons. The biggest thing that we want to help people is give them insights on what they can avoid. And let's talk about a personal experience we won't mention the brand name, but you can mention about when we had a brand, why did it not work? What was missing? So go for it.
I mean, we have not had one brand. We have had several brands in the initial stage where we have the main issue I would say was you can't get everything out of a small budget. If you're gonna go out into competing with top brands, you need to be in a position where you can compete with them, like in terms of budget, in terms of the campaign that goes behind it, in terms of this. I'm talking purely not on like an e-commerce perspective. This is more on a brand perspective. So we have worked with brands where the brand wants to achieve something, but the support to reach there is not available. They're not providing that. So that is where majority of the brands fail. You can't get everything from spending nothing. Because at the end of the day, the campaigns work out in a way that people who spend more get the results that they all work on ROI basis. So if you're spending more, you get more reach. It's as simple as that. So that is one of the initially we had a few brands wherein the vision was, the budget was not matching the vision. Correct. And that was a learning phase for us as well, where we are now in a position to say no to brands if they don't have the budget to support the vision. Because at the end of the day, we are putting, if it is a small brand or a big brand, we are putting in the same effort. Like we are putting in the same effort to make sure we are say answerable to our deliverables. Correct. So that is what has taught us from the past few years of doing this, that big brands that have the potential.
Correct. Fair. Just a brief. Why don't you guys give us a brief introduction on exactly what Mantaga is and what do you guys do currently right now?
Before we start that, you want to give a story about how we got the name Mantaga?
I was going to get into it, bro. Let everybody speak. You want to give it? You can give it.
You give it, bro. You're the best person to give it.
So we'll give you a quick story. Yeah, if you stay till the end, you get the best bits. So one day we all used to meet up very often. There's a group of 5 of us, and 4 of us decided to jump in, even though the 5th person is involved silently. Regardless, we all were just, chilling in the house. I was going through a weird phase in my life and leaving jobs, etc. Blah blah blah. And me and Anush, we were sitting down. We were deciding like, what do we do? We got a rock solid idea. Anush is the idea man. He's always been coming to us with ideas, and we used to always tell him, "No, all your ideas are stupid," even though it was crazy. But the vision was too far for us at that time to like understand.
Where are you now?
So when the idea came in, we were like, what to name it? And always when we used to think of names, we were thinking of like crazy names, what to put and stuff. I look at Anush, I was like, you know what? Mantaga. So now, what is Mantaga? Is just the name. In Arabic, Mantaga means area of like, plot or whatever. And so there was a weird the phrase we used to use in school, and it's the internal joke. And we were like, you know what? When we start our business, since this terminology was our group name and everything, it doesn't have any specific meaning. We were like, let's do it. Let's name it Mantaga, even though it sounds crazy to everyone. Oh, you're starting your first business and you're naming it a joke. We're like, yeah, the whole thing about reality is a joke, right? So we named it Mantaga, got it signed up immediately. And since then, like we then went around gathering all of our friends. We were telling them about the idea vision. Everyone immediately heard, that's what, when it's time to start, it's time to start. There's no way you can resist it. And so then we started with the digital marketing agency, social media, because at that time, Anush was quite good at it. He taught all of us about it. And we started venturing out. And here it is, 1 year and couple months today. And we have a lot of achievements to speak about. And most especially is the wisdom and information and knowledge we possess more than like anything physical. But we do have an office and everyone's welcome to visit us whenever. Located in Sheikh Zayed Road in Tower Plaza, 23rd. Please give us a ring before you meet us. Is that good enough? Or you want to add something?
There's nothing. Couldn't have done it better.
Perfect.
So about what you guys do, because like you mentioned, there are different sides. You guys deal with brands that are in the UAE. You guys deal with brands that are not in the UAE. How does it work?
Okay, I'll finish talk about UAE, what we do over here, why we're so confident about our skills, what we established. Basically, we have like a long time experience over here in UAE, bunch of networks, relationships that we've created with major distributors, as everyone in the UAE or Middle East know about, is Talabat, Careem and Noon. So we have a relationship where we have a contract with them, which gets us access to various brands to come on board on Careem, Talabat and Noon. Any brand can go and try to sign up over there. It's not going to be easy. At the moment, it's not going to be possible, because they have huge amounts of brands. Every brand that wants to start up is going to go to Careem, Noon and Talabat. So because of our relationship with the people in these distributors, we're able to get a good contract that helps us to bring in brands which meet the minimum requirement that we assess them based on. And we're able to sign them on board, while we have various other terms and conditions when you go on this. But this is one of the best platforms because most number of users, and it's our relationship that we maintain with these companies that have helped us, develop our business. And at the end of the day, we saw a major rise in our sales revenue or like business growth in Middle East market.
And just adding to that, because we put our face in front of the front of these platforms that say Careem, Noon, Talabat. So we have come to an understanding that the brands that we bring on board will have a certain potential, like Fadil already mentioned. So it has a certain potential to make sure it does not sit on the shelf, because they have the marketing behind it, they have the social media behind it. So we make sure that we provide the consultancy from a 360 point of view, where we support them on their social media as well, we support them on the platform as well, and we support them if they need, we support them with their distribution network in UAE as well.
So what is is there any list, like a checklist for what needs to be checked out when a brand when you guys onboard a brand? Like how do you shortlist which brand to take on when you're listing them on these platforms?
We look at it by category first. So if it's an extremely competitive category, you have to assess it on the basis of what the brand wants to do in this category, because I'm sure as a brand owner, you know what you're getting into. Like if you're going against Pepsi, you know what you're getting into, and you need to be able to compete with Pepsi. So we assess it based on category first, and then comes the smaller things like say packaging, which is very important right now. Marketing spend, extremely important right now. What are your goals for say now 2025? What is the volume that you're going to try and push out? Do you have the necessary distribution facilities, or do you have the distribution strength to support distributing to maybe 25, 30 dark stores?
Yeah, I think if you guys could give a detailed explanation or a summary of what is Talabat, Noon, and Kareem, like who are they? Why are they so big in the UAE?
For our listeners who don't know what exactly Talabat, Noon, Kareem are, for if you're listening from Southeast Asia, it's basically like Grab. If you're listening from Europe, it's basically like Uber Eats or Deliveroo. But over here, the main goal of these platforms is to have your groceries delivered in say 15 minutes. 15 minutes across these platforms. So everyone orders from these platforms because you don't have to wait. You're making a curry, you run out of tomatoes, and you can literally order it on the spot and you get it in 15 minutes. So that is the accessibility that these platforms give you, and that's why there are so many brands that want to be on these platforms.
Okay, fair. Now, now we've spoken about what you guys do locally in the UAE market, but how do you guys expand your horizon and go into brands that are worldwide? What can you do for them? Because they're an e-commerce brand. They're not physically available in the UAE. They don't have interest to come and list themselves on these platforms. So what can you do for a brand that is available worldwide?
For worldwide brands, our main strength is not just UAE market. Our main strength is handling brands. So we have worked with so many brands across so many years that has, if you have to take a scale, it has been from the biggest of biggest brands. I don't want to mention any names, but from the biggest of biggest brands to even brands that have started off. So our knowledge comes from handling all these brands. So for our worldwide customers, what we do is we offer an in-depth analysis of what your brand's market is, what your brand's market target customer base should be, target audience should be, how you can improve on your social media presence, how you can improve on your campaign presence.
Other than that, it's been a good journey. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have brands that you want to bring to the UAE, we're here for you. If you guys just want to know more about different brands' perspectives and how do you look at things and how do you start off, always reach out to us over DM.
Smash that like.